Hello and welcome. You're tuned into Buy Now, Sell Now on ET Now. I'm Shrishti Sharma and with me Shel D'Souza. And viewers, this is the show where you get answers for all your stock-related queries. Yes, indeed, we had to start the show a little late today, but nevertheless, we'll try to take as many queries as possible. But before that, let's have a quick look what the markets are up to. So, Shel, once again, the bulls are back in the markets, feels like, and as of now, the Nifty Bank has also turned green.
Absolutely. Looks like the bulls are indeed back. A very good morning to you, Shrishti. And if you look at the markets, so yes, we're building on to gains. Day's highest point coming from the benchmark indices with gain of about 1%. You had the Nifty Bank trying to recover in trade today. In fact, it's already recovered over 1% from the day's lowest point, nudging towards the positive territory, and broader markets as well participating in the same gusto like the benchmark indices in trade today. But let's not actually dwell more into markets today, because let's try and take as many queries as possible, because we have started the show on a late note today, given the fact that we had the exclusive interview coming in for all of our viewers from Ramdev Agrawal. But let's take the queries that are pouring in. We have our experts today. We have Kunal Bothra, who is joining us on the technical front, while on the fundamentals we have Avinash Gorakshakar. Thank you so much, Avinash, as well as Kunal, for joining us on the show, as well as actually waiting by patiently. And let me take this first query. This one is coming in from Saslamani, who is writing to us from Coimbatore. Wants to know about Cello World, has purchased the shares at around 846 rupees per share, about 700 shares. What to do with this one? To hold for a year or so? Will it go above 1200 is the question that she's asking. But given the fact that it's a recently listed counter, let me come to you, Avinash. What's your take on Cello World?
No, I think, Cheryl, the investor can hold on to Cello World. It's a very well-established business, and the company has made conscious efforts to reduce the debt on the balance sheet. Plus, new product categories are likely to be launched in FY25. The commentary from the management team has been exceedingly positive, and I think, if the investor can give a time frame of at least 12 to 15 months, I would believe that a fair value of 1150 to 1175 looks possible. So I think the investor should hold on. Better prospects should happen in FY25.
Moving on, the next query that I have, Kunal, is on a banking counter. Mohit is already holding 500 shares of Bandhan Bank. His buy price is 187 rupees. The time horizon is for the next 2 years. What to do in this one?
This is a stock which just doesn't get into any kind of a major bounce back. We've seen the stock struggling over the last 2 years or so. I think from 300 odd levels, 325 odd, when the stock had started to get to a breakdown mode. From there, the stock is almost half. It's come back towards, I think, 175, 185, the last I had seen for Bandhan Bank. So I would probably believe that it's a stock which is not looking into a major uptrend. So I think that aspect I would suggest an exit. And if possible, then I think it's a good time to try and build back towards few of the formidable PSU banking names. So in that aspect, so I would probably believe that the risk reward is attractive, and the time-wise consolidation is almost seemingly over for many of these names.
All right. This next query that I have is coming in from Indu. She wants a technical view on Tata Steel and JSW Energy from the medium term, actually, Kunal. She's holding both of them with good set of profits, though she feels that JSW Energy has now lost momentum. Is there any scope of further upside for both of these counters, Tata Steel and JSW Energy, given the fact that she's sitting with profits?
See, I think I would recommend to hold on to both of these names. Tata Steel, of course, has gone through us, I would say, slipped by in the last 2-3 weeks, where from 175, 180, the stock had come back towards 155, 158 mark. But I think the stock has now gone into that completed mean version. It's now looking very attractive at this 160 level. So I would expect the stock to make a strong comeback. And given the way metal stocks, globally as well as the sector could pan out, I would believe Tata Steel can also come back towards its previous major highs. JSW Energy also, I think it's been a fantastic chart. I remember tracking the stock when it was almost at 70, 75 odd rupees, towards the point when the stock was almost 10x. So I think in that aspect, the stock has done exceptionally well. But whether this is the the terminal move of the stock price, I don't believe so. I think there should be more upside for the stock in the next couple of years. So it depends on your time frame, and depends on whether you have any kind of other stocks which could be better ventures than JSW Energy. Only then look to exit the stock, otherwise a hold.
The next query that I have, Avinash, is coming in from LK Anand. I guess he's writing to us for the first time and wants advice on Syrma SGS. He's already holding 130 shares, buy price is 486. Is that a hold or sell?
I think it's a hold. I think the company is sitting on a very healthy order book, and I think the commentary is also strong. And I think within the EMS space and the the PC printed circuit board kind of space, Syrma SGS is a very dominant player, has a very large marquee customer base not only in India but even abroad. And I think looking at the kind of product opportunity, if the investor can give in 12 to 18 months, he should hold on. He's gotten at a decent price. I think if he can hold on for the next 12, 18 months, another 15-20% upside looks very much possible.
It's coming in from Krishnan Rajgopal, who's writing to us from Mumbai and wants to know about EIH, actually, Kunal. 100 shares at a price of around 440 rupees per share. Wants to know whether he can add some more in his portfolio at this current time.
Well, you can look to add the stock at current levels. 400 seems to be a good support. The stock has taken this support at this level 3 times in the last 4-5 months. And I think in that aspect, it's a good price as well as a risk reward to enter the stock or add further.
All right, Avinash, the next query is on Morepen Labs, though the pharma space is all in flavor. But Meena from Delhi is holding 300 shares of this stock and her buy price is 53 rupees. What's the long-term outlook on this one? And should she continue to hold on or maybe look out for better opportunities?
I think Morepen Labs is a well-established player, not only in the domestic but even in the export market. And I think they also have a large presence in the API market. So I think, clearly if you can give a year or two, I think around 12 to 18 months here, we believe that the company is in the process of, developing some new product, molecules, plus expanding their geographical reach. Numbers have been pretty solid and steady. And I think management commentary has also been good. So I think this being a tier 2 small pharma company, I think, growth prospects seem to be quite encouraging. So if the investor can hold on for the next 12 to 18 months, I think it's definitely a company to watch out for. FY25 should be a lot better compared to last year.
All right, this next one that I have is coming in from Venkatesh, who's writing to us from Indonesia. Kunal, he wants to know about Federal-Mogul. He's saying that he's holding this counter at a price of around 368 rupees per share. About 100 shares of Federal-Mogul is there in his portfolio. He wants to know whether he should continue to hold on to it for the next 2 years or go ahead and look to book profits.
So, I think if 2 years is a time frame, then there could be a further upside into the stock. I think it's just coming out of a 5-year, 7-year kind of a correction from 2018-19. The stock corrected from 650 levels to 200, and from 200 it's now come back to the midpoint of this 400-point correction, which is around the 430 odd mark. So there could be a strong possibility of a comeback, but whether this is one of the strongest name in the entire ANG sector, then I would probably believe that there are better names, better stocks which you can take a bet on. So it all depends on your risk reward. If you're okay holding on for the next 2 years, there could be more upside into the stock. Say from current levels, you can expect 530 to 550 kind of a level over the next couple of years. And if you're looking at better names from the larger cap pack, from the auto pack as such, then I would believe that going to the traditional likes of Tata Motors, Ashok Leyland, etc. could also work out extremely well.
All right, Kunal, coming to you for the next query, and this one is from Harish from Mumbai, and he wants your take on Castrol because he's already holding 750 shares, buy price is 250 rupees, and we all know what a stellar run this counter has shown. But good time to book out some profits or continue to hold on. He wants a short-term technical view.
See, if it's a short-term kind of a time frame, which means I would probably expect that restricted towards say 3 weeks, 1 month approximately, then I would believe that 275, 285 could be a good resistance for Castrol. But then if you're asking me that if the stock can can the stock do very well for the next couple of years and more, I strongly believe so, because the stock has completed a major reversal. So it's managed to break past about the 2014-15 highs when the stock was at 230 to 50 odd mark. So I think that kind of a breakout has happened for Castrol. So maybe a short term kind of a pause for the stock price, but from a long term basis it looks fairly attractive. So you have to choose your time frame quite aptly. If it's a short term play, then I think 275 285 is where you can look to book out.
All right, so that's the take coming in on that particular counter. But on that note, we'll slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now Sell Now. When we come back, we'll continue taking your query. Viewers, don't go anywhere. Welcome back. You're watching Buy Now Sell Now on ET Now. Let's continue taking all of the stock related queries then. And the next query that I have is coming in from from our viewer Sagar, and Sagar wants to know about Venus Pipes. He wants a funder view on that particular counter. He's holding the levels, or rather holding the stock since IPO. Wants to know if there's any growth or earning projection in the near term. Avinash, also business outlook on metals, especially the tube segment. One, he wants to know about Venus Pipes. He's holding it since the time of IPO. The stock has seen a good gain of 9% in the last 3 months or so, and has seen a good run as well. So what's your take on Venus Pipes, about the growth prospects of the company and the earnings, more on the financial side?
No, I think the company has a very decent order book for the next 12 to 15 months, and I think most of the tube companies now have been doing pretty well. And in light of this, I would believe that FY25 and 26 is going to be another strong year for Venus Pipes. What is important is the company is putting up incremental capacity, which will give it the benefit of increased volume growth from the second half of FY25 onwards. And most importantly, since the investor has been holding on since the public issue, I'm not aware of what kind of quantity he holds, but I think a prudent strategy would be that at least he can book out 25% of his holding and make his the entire investment free of cost. Because typically, what retail investors forget is that they forget to convert paper profits into actual cash flow. So I think if he can book out 25% and hold on the rest, his margin of safety also increases significantly. And over the next, say, 12 to 18 months, he could expect a decent 20-25% upside even from the current levels.
All right, moving on to the next query. And Kunal, the next query is from Sanoob. Sanoob is writing to us for the first time, and he's holding NMDC 100 shares. Though he didn't share his buy price, but according to the current situation, what's the best thing to do? Either sell it or hold it for some more time. Since he didn't share his buy price, how is the chart looking like on the technical front?
I think it's a fantastic chart if you ask me on the longer term basis, and the best part is that the stock has come back towards its 200 DMA, which means that the mean reversion has already happened for NMDC. So I think in that aspect, I would suggest that you can continue to hold on to the stock if you've bought at lower levels. Even if you bought at higher levels, I think it's a good time where you should look to even average further.
All right, Kunal, coming right back to this one is from Venkata Rao, who's writing to us from Visakhapatnam. He's a great fan of yours, and he wants to know about CESC as well as NHPC. Can he look to enter now? What's the safe entry price for this particular counter? Though he's mentioned he's a long-term investor.
I think both of these stocks are very attractive, and I've been tracking both of these names over the last many months, and these stocks have done exceptionally well. CESC, I think, initiating a first buy when the stock was at 78 approximately, towards the point when the stock is now at, I think, 160, 170, and recently the stock went higher, 180 plus. So it's a fabulous kind of a chart, and the stock has come back towards a mean reversion point at 168. So it's a good price where you can look to start entering or nibbling into this stock. Same is the case with NHPC. The only concern which I have with NHPC is that over the last 3 quarters, the stock has been unable to break past over the 118 mark, which means that there could be a higher possibility of a time-wise consolidation the stock may be okay with. But since you're a long-term investor, I think that should probably be an opportunity for you.
All right. Avinash, the next query is on Banco India. I'm not sure whether you tracked this counter or not, but Kumar is holding 20 shares. His buy price is close to 700 rupees. Is that a hold or sell for the long term?
I think he can continue to hold. See, Banco Products is a well-established auto component player. They make radiators and gaskets for the commercial vehicles and for the utility vehicle sector. They have marquee customers like M&M, Mahindra and Mahindra, typically, Tata Motors, Ashok Leyland. I think clearly, within the replacement market also, there is a good opportunity for this product. So I would suggest that, if the investor can hold on for the next, say, year or two, because the stock has gone up quite significantly and the investor has entered at a slightly higher level. So I would suggest that if he can hold on for the next 12, 18 months, he could definitely expect a decent risk.
All right, this next one is coming in from a viewer, Akshay, who's writing to us from Bangalore. Apologies, Akshay, we've not been able to take your query, but I'll take it today. He wants to know about Angel One, actually, Avinash. He wants to know whether it's a good stock for the long term, because he's saying that the PE is looking attractive for the counter, as well as he wants to know about Rainbow Hospitals, a good bet for the long term.
These companies look attractive from a 2-year perspective. In fact, Angel One, reacted negatively in the budget after the, government imposed STTT on, derivative instruments, and the capital gains tax was raised. But thereafter, there was a good bounce back in the stock. And I think you must remember that Angel One is now one of the leading online broking companies and has been, clocking significantly higher volumes in the market. So I think, if the investor has a 2-year kind of time frame, because indirectly, as capital markets prosper, broking companies obviously will continue to do well. And since they have a digitization kind of focus, I think the margins are going to be much better. So Angel One, he can hold on. Which was the other stock you mentioned, Cheryl?
Rainbow Hospitals. Do you think it's a good stock for a long term, given the fact that it's a very niche play in the hospital segment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a niche play, and I think a lot of marquee investors have entered this stock. I remember, when the public issue happened, the stock did not evoke much fancy, but I think once the market realized that this hospital is largely for children's kind of ailments, this concept took off quite well. So I think here also, if the investor wants to put in money and stay invested for the next couple of years, I think it's a very unique opportunity, a very growing segment. So I think definitely good prospects await if the investor can stay invested here for the next 2 years.
All right. The next query that I have, Kunal, is coming from Namita, and she wants a technical view on Dhani Services, where she's holding 500 shares, buy price is 55 rupees, and she's also holding IB Real Estate, 150 shares, buy price is 135 rupees. Can she add more at current market price, and any breakouts expected soon?
So I think Dhani Services is a stock which is getting to a recovery, and I think from the last 5-year, 10-year highs where the stock was almost at 800, and the stock is now almost 1/10 or less than 1/10 of that. So it's going to a recovery phase so far. You may expect that the stock may get to a gradual up move, but I don't expect any kind of a major uptrend over the medium to long term, medium term at least, for the stock. So you may probably expect the stock to come back towards say 65 and then 75 kind of a target ranges if the market also continues to perform pretty well. But on the other hand, Indiabulls Real Estate, which I think now is named as Equinox, I think that's a chart which has been doing exceptionally well. That's a stock which over the last 6 months or so moved from 1995 to almost 150, 160 levels, and now it's come back towards 138 mark on the back of correction from the real estate sector. So this stock is a lot more better name in terms of the pedigree of price performance. So I would probably prefer Equinox out of the two. But Dhani, you can hold on to the stock for another couple of years. In case if the stock sees any kind of a major catalyst in terms of news flow, then you may expect a major turnaround to the stock price.
All right, so on that note, we will slip into a break on this edition of Buy Now, Sell Now. When we come back, we'll continue taking your query. Viewers, don't go anywhere.
Welcome back to Buy Now, Sell Now, and let's keep it going with all your stock-related queries. And Kunal, the next query that I have is coming from Vishwanathan Nair, MR from Cochin, and he actually wants your advice on a couple of counters that which amongst KPI Green Energy and Elecon Engineering is a better buy, and any of the stock that you like at this point in time?
So I think both of these stocks are almost similar in terms of the charts. They've done exceptionally well in the last 3-4 years. Elecon, for example, from 100, the stock has moved out towards 700. 625 is where it's trading right now, but 700 was the recent high for the stock. KPI Green, on the other hand, the stock has moved from 100 to almost 900, 950 plus mark. So both of these stocks are very similar. Very difficult to try and choose one of them, one out of the two. But then if I look at the recent charts and the volume patterns, then I would probably believe KPI Greens has a slight advantage towards itself as compared to Elecon.
All right, Kunal, coming right back to you once again because it's a short-term view. This one is coming from Kiran, who's writing to us Pune. 100 shares of Zomato he already has in his portfolio at a price of 170 rupees. Poonawalla FinCorp 1000 shares at a price of 420 rupees per share. He wants to know what's the short-term targets for about 6 months or so for the counters, and also he's looking to invest a lump sum of about 1 lakh or so. I don't know in each of them or maybe split between both of them. Doesn't make sense.
So I would recommend to hold on to both of these stocks. Zomato, from a 6-month target, I would probably believe 235 to 245 could be a target range which you can keep on the stock. So in case the results are any kind of a catalyst, then you may probably up the targets by 10 odd points for Zomato. So I think that could be a range which you can cut for. Poonawalla FinCorp, the stock is down from a cost price, but I think it's a high pedigree stock. It's going through a series of correction over the last 6 odd months, but I would probably believe that the stock has a capacity to try and absorb this corrective phase and could probably potentially make a strong comeback. So I would suggest a hold on the stock. But if you're looking to deploy this additional 1 lakh, I would not suggest to deploy in either of these two stocks as of now. I would probably believe and would recommend few of the other names. You can look at Biocon at current levels. That's a stock which is looking attractive. You can also look at names like ONGC from the PSU pack, which looks fairly attractive at current levels.
All right, but with this, viewers, let's kickstart taking all your stock-related queries in the rapid fire session. And the first query is for you, Avinash. This one is coming from Vinesh Gupta, writing all the way from Jammu and Kashmir. He wants your advice on HFCL, 200 shares at a price of 115 rupees, as well as Apollo Pipes, holding 100 shares at a price of 620 rupees.
I think both the stocks can be held on to. See, HFCL is going to be a major beneficiary of the telecom reforms and the 5G kind of network expansion. And Apollo Pipes also, I think if you look at the order book and the kind of opportunity for most of the pipe companies, they should do remarkably well in FY25. So here also, I think taking a 12 to 15 month time frame, one can hold on.
All right, this is coming from Balan. He has BHEL, NTPC both in his portfolio. Kunal making decent gains. Should he add more or look also at the IT sector for a period of 6 to 12 months?
A bit late into entering the IT stocks, but would wait out for advising on corrections. But both of the other stocks, BHEL and NTPC, should hold.
All right, Kunal, Sunil ji has already have multi-bagger returns on Eicher Motors, but a good time to book out some profits out of this one, or can he hold for medium term?
Hold for a medium term target of 6,000 plus.
All right, first solutions for the short term. Our viewer wants to know whether he can add some more in his portfolio. He has already 140 shares at a price of 176 rupees per share. What's your take, Avinash? First, so good bet to add some more. He already is in profit.
Yeah, I think if he has a 6 to 12 months kind of time frame, he can hold on. I think definitely better prospects are expected in FY20.
All right, Kunal, Ronald from Dubai wants to have your view on IDFC First Bank. Good for a fresh buy?
Not really. I would suggest only about 83 levels is where you should look to buy.
Kunal, this was coming from Chandrasekharan. He's holding Ashok Leyland 700 shares at a price of 196 rupees per share. Should he hold for the next 6 months or look to book profits? What strategy with Ashok Leyland?
Definitely a hold for long term.
All right, Avinash, what's your advice on Quest Corp? Because Karthik has been holding for the 2 years, still at a loss of 10%. What to do in this one?
No, I think he should exercise patience. There are very few listed players apart from Team Lease. Quest is the only other large player in manpower services. So I think keep a time frame of at least 12-18 months. One could definitely expect a decent risk reward, provided the investor keeps in the stock for this time frame.
All right, and with that, we come to the end of Rapid Fire as well as queries. Thank you so much, Kunal, as well as Avinash for joining us on the show and trying and taking as many queries possible in the truncated version of Buy Now, Sell Now. But viewers, we bid goodbye to you on this week's edition of Buy Now, Sell Now as well. Thank you so much for watching us. We will be back next week and hopefully we'll be trying taking as many queries as possible. So for now, goodbye from Shrishti, myself and the team that put the show together.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.